Well, thank you, Dr. Zerubbabel, for the introduction. Thank you to the staff of the Bildner Center. It's really great to be back here with such open arms. I can't believe it's been 13 years since I kind of walked these floors and studied these things. It was really quite a foundational experience, as you hear, of what I accomplished and what I learned and what I've been taking with me for all these years. Over 13 years ago, I stood in a similar position, being given the privilege to speak about my academic experience that had been nurtured largely by the Department of Jewish Studies here at Rutgers. I spoke about the research I conducted on the Iraqi Jewish musical tradition that culminated in my thesis. The thesis used music as a lens to explain the past, present, and future of the second oldest Jewish community outside of Jerusalem, and what we stand to learn from its existence. Without going into the specifics of the thesis, and my degree studies in general, I will say that the process of writing the thesis was the most challenging and fruitful experience of my academic career. You see, upon graduation, I left not only with a thesis in hand, but an experience that provided me a source of inspiration for my future endeavors, synthesizing study into practice. My experience with the Bildner Center gave me a set of invaluable tools that led me to life-changing events that I couldn't quite fathom as a 23-year-old. And yes, I liked school so much I stayed for 5 years instead of 4. Dr. Zerubbabel specifically responded excitedly to my research proposal in a way that validated my voice. My independent thought and invention found support. Along with Dr. Mark Kligman, I traveled a deep and diverse route, exploring the meanings of society, culture, identity, and a basic understanding of Middle Eastern music. The Jewish Studies Department provided a rich choice of courses that not only allowed my knowledge base of Jewish history and society and culture to grow, but also the critical thinking that accompanied every course. And like Dr. Zerubbabel said, it wasn't the Israeli culture course that I really found the connection between music and Jewish studies, but also more a realistic look at what Israeli society represented. Specifically, I remember learning about the Black Panthers of Israeli society, marginalized Jews of Arab origins who were fighting and protesting against this Western European ideology for a more inclusive society. And that was something I really hadn't heard of growing up in South Jersey. And it kind of triggered a bunch of different things and wanted to learn more about Jews that had an Arab identity. Our relationship to Arab culture became evident in my thesis research and urged the conclusion that our understanding of this other is critically important at what I and others believe to be an integral part of peace building. So all in all, this marked the beginning of my professional career, and I knew that music would play a role in understanding society in the name of peace, empathy, and understanding. So 2 years after graduating Rutgers, I ended up in Arad for 7 months, studying Hebrew, breaking my teeth on the language, literally. I had a nice basis from Orly and some of the other teachers, and I worked tremendously hard on this. I ended up meeting Yair Dalal in person, who was also one of my thesis interviewees, and we spent a lot of time together. I would go to Jaffa once a week almost to study music with him, and then concurrently, somebody in Arad connected me with Mohammed Abu Ajaj, not only for him to teach me Bedouin music on the oud, but also to teach his children English. And we had a relationship up until his death a few years ago, and I might be one of the few American folk musicians to perform in Rahat during one of their cultural festivals a number of years ago. So Mohammed and Yair helped me break into a part of history that should be highlighted more. It's the shared consistency of being participants in Arab culture that existed before modern Zionism, Pan-Arabism, and the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. There are too many components of the conflict to be listed here, but I will say that the opportunity to meet, humanize, and empathize the other are the only ways to survive the road that lies ahead of us. Mohammed and Yair were just many of the people who refused to be enemies. In 2008, I transitioned a little bit and found myself in Sweden for a few weeks. And again, harkening back to my studies at the Bildner Center, I began a social entrepreneurial incubator that developed into a project called The Shuk. Along with the Rutgers alumni Yoni Avital, we traveled through 20 countries in Europe, all over Israel and the United States, using music as a means to inspire a democratic and self-actualizing version of Jewish identity. It was the idea to use music to let people empower themselves and kind of decide for themselves how they would want to be Jewish. And then, not soon after that is when I discovered Heartbeat. Traveling around Jerusalem, I began to perform and work with youth from all over, from Palestinian narratives, from Israeli Jewish narratives. And together we kind of forged this new space where everyone's story could be heard. and they could learn from one another. And as you see what's taking place in the political sphere right now, we're seeing more polarizing things take place across the board. And Heartbeat's job is to really stop that. And so I was really happy to be a part of that and help start programs not only in Jerusalem, but also in Jaffa and Haifa. And this last year we toured throughout the United States for 30 days, traveling to over 17 venues, trying to harbor this idea of communication through music. And now I find myself back in the United States, almost a year and a half back from living in Israel, kind of navigating this strange environment, this place that's become strange to me again, but also in the same way also new and familiar. And so I'm working primarily now with underserved communities in Philadelphia and youth at risk. I'm currently working with a spoken word artist teaching self-expression to nonviolent youth offenders who have been convicted recently. And then as Dr. Zerubbabel said, I'm also working with teaching artists in this form of alt new arts to try to create more points of community engagement, to kind of synthesize that vacuum between performer and audience in a place that can really forge social change in Philadelphia. But lastly, I'm here to play some music because that's the voice that I'd like to share with you the most today. And so I'd like to welcome Ian Rathalack and Matt Scarano, two friends of mine from Philadelphia. And we're going to play through a couple songs real quick and kind of giving you a sonic understanding of where I stand, where we stand. So the first song is kind of a new midrash, learning about the history of American folk music. It turns out that Akedat Yitzchak and the Binding of Isaac is a big theme from Bob Dylan and Leonard Cohen and other musicians have taken upon this. So not that that was my intention to sit with them anywhere near the pedestal they occupy the music realm. This is my take on this story.
His boy up to the mountain, and Daddy took his boy up to the mountain. Thought he had a better view, seen the dust and dirt down low. Don't do me, Daddy took his boy up to the mountain. Daddy took his boy up to the mountain. Daddy to the mountain, and this boy followed Daddy to the mountain. Wondered what he's gonna do with the world wide open and info view. And this boy followed Daddy to the mountain, and this boy followed Daddy to the mountain. Oh, things are looking up for you. The stars above and the sands below are yours. Every step even up, but that still ain't enough. And Daddy knows the deed he's gonna have to do. Oh, and Daddy knows the deed he's gonna have to do. Set his child on the popper, the match don't light except his fire. Oh, Daddy knows the deed he's gonna have to do. And Daddy knows the deed he's gonna have to do. Oh, things are looking up for you. The stars above and the sands below are yours. Every step now heaving up, but that still this boy really made it off the mountain. And you think this boy really made it off the mountain. Well, faith in father nearly got him, and I hope his kids do a little more talking. Oh, you think this boy really made it off the mountain? And you think this boy really made it off the mountain? Oh, things are looking up for you. The stars above and the sands below are yours. Every step he went up, but I still ain't enough. Oh no, no. Whoa, things are looking up for you. The stars above and the sands below are yours. Every step he went up, but that still ain't enough.
So now we'll do something a little bit different. This is a song from Lebanon, a Lebanese folk song called Binti Shalabiya, the girl from Shalabiya. It was one of those things I encountered when I was traveling. In the same way a Jewish folk song will get us up in arms and dancing, the same thing does for someone who speaks Arabic. So if I'm going to talk about peace building, I should probably Arabic. So try to speak a little bit Arabic. So this is my way of doing it because, you know, music was my gateway to academic and social understanding to a great degree, so this was another way for me to kind of plow down that path. So this is Binti Shalabiya. Okay, 1, 2.
عيونها لذيذة بحبك من قلبي يا قلبي انتي يا نية بحبك من قلبي يا قلبي انتي يا نية خلى الناطر نحمو بناطر قصر الخواطر يا ولفي مهانا ليا قصر الخواطر يا ولفي مهانا ليا عيونها لذيذة بحبك من قلبي يا قلبي انتي يا نية بحبك من قلبي يا قلبي انتي يا نية خلى الناطر محمود ناطر قصر الخواطر يا ولفي مهانا ليا قصر الخواطر يا ولفي مهانا Afalak on the bass.
So this is, it's funny, whatever you say in Israel can be construed as political. And even when you say you're not political, you're being political. So I'm not going to mince words with this song. It's highly political, but it's also very human at the same time. It's about Jerusalem. I remember during the 40th anniversary of the '67 war in 2007, we were walking the streets there and understanding the significance of 1967, but also not understanding the societal divisions that took place as a result of that. So on one hand, a physical unification of the city, being able to go to the old city again, but also that the schism that was created between Palestinians and Israelis on a much more fundamental level. And so this is kind of that, rechecking ourselves. So Yerushalayim means, you know, city of peace, a complete city. And so hoping that that idea doesn't just find itself being realized physically, but also spiritually and intellectually as we continue. So.
Oh Jerusalem, oh Jerusalem, oh Jerusalem, oh Jerusalem, oh Jerusalem, oh Jerusalem, oh Jerusalem. Peace unto you, peace unto whom a million faces staring at you, wondering what to do. Sitting there for peace stands the edge of a sword. Too many prophets, poets, and pilgrims have died at your doors. And 1,000 nights of mourning for 1,000 nights of mourning. Just add more fire to the story, and the smoke a little thicker now. Feel the friction in the ways we talk about you, oh Jerusalem. Oh Jerusalem, oh Jerusalem, oh Jerusalem. Oh Jerusalem, oh Jerusalem, oh Jerusalem, oh Jerusalem. Well, the roots have grown deep and the limbs have grown strong, but these branches have been broken and the leaves on the fall. Well, an eye for an eye until you go blind, or a tooth for a tooth until you can't chew. And if that's not enough, oh, there's always more to lose. It's time these losses start to offer a better way to lose. Cause there's do unto others as you do unto yourself. Cause it's the only leg to stand on a long time ago. Oh Jerusalem, oh Jerusalem, oh Jerusalem, oh Jerusalem, oh Jerusalem, oh Jerusalem, oh Jerusalem. Oh, 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 trying to fulfill your name, but you break down. You take down every connection that you make. Till you talk about united, but you're thoughtlessly divided. You gotta wear down those walls on the inside and out. And when everyone from Eden finally gets to sharing all these people here in mind, then we'll talk about united now. So show me the God that lets know what is for Jerusalem. Oh Jerusalem, 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 oh
Thank you. So we'll play one more, and then, as we always celebrate a Jewish occasion, I'll have some food. So thank you again for having me today, Dr. Zerubbabel and the department. It's really wonderful to have this circle kind of completed, but not completed in a way that it stops being a circle anymore, stops connecting, because there's now momentum to this, and I feel like we have a long road ahead of us together, so it's good to be back. This next song is, so as strange as it may sound, so I learned how to speak Hebrew in Israel completely, became sort of fluent depending on what day it was and how much sleep I got. But when I came back here, I had my first poetic inclinations of understanding Hebrew, and I had to leave Israel to be able to write poetry in Hebrew, which is you can take that psychologically in whatever direction you want. And so this is the second song that I wrote. It's called Zman Omer, and it's kind of a play off that famous Hebrew expression, Yeh Beseder. No matter what happens, everything will be okay. But as you know from the field work that I engage in, it's not about waiting for time to make things better. It's about us taking time in our hands and saying, let's work together to make a change occur. So this is what this is about. Zman Omer.
שהכל יהיה בסדר ונסתדר כשדברים רעים עולים והחושך חוטף את האור ואין סיכוי שהכל לא מתפזר, יהיה בסדר. מהזמן קשה להבין שחסר הצורך להזיז את העניינים והתנועות זזות בלי נוע והכוח רק מנבואה והכל מגיע ממשל המערה, זה לא בסדר. חייבים להגיד לזמן, חייבים להגיד לזמן, חייבים להגיד לזמן. התעוררי, התעוררי, נערי מעבר קומי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי שתעברי. התעוררי, התעוררי, נערי מעבר קומי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי שתעברי. ליי 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 הזמן שהכל יהיה בסדר ונסתדר כשדברים רעים עולים והחושך חוטף את האור ואין סיכוי שהכל מתפזר, זה לא בסדר. חייבים להגיד לזמן, חייבים להגיד לזמן, חייבים להגיד לזמן,
Matt Scarano, Ian Rafalek. Thank you so much for having me here this evening. This is quite a wonderful moment to have